Our new book is available on Amazon for you to enjoy.
Today's book is Play-Doh on Strike, written by Jennifer Jones. Tucked away in the classroom bins, far off and out of reach, are tiny pots of yellow command attention as the teachers teach. For the students, know we are there and cannot wait to open us and play. In fact, the teacher gives them time to do just that each morning of each day. But you see, it's hard for the teacher to observe the kids as they go. When they open up and squish us and yell, "My favorite is Play-Doh!" They squeeze our dough in desk holes so that we cannot be retrieved. They shove us in their socks or hide us up their sleeves. They throw us in the wrong bins or use tools on us not made for dough. They bounce us and are too rough with us. They don't seem to care though. Sometimes they mix our colors together. Oh no! Until our hue turns sludgy brown. They knead us into ugly blobs and mold us into a frown. The worst is when they lick our dough or take a bite to taste. They should know that Play-Doh is not food. We must be put away with haste. For if they don't, we will dry out and turn to hard crumbles for sure. The children will discard us from their desks, wipe us all over the classroom floor. They smack us on the ground and stomp on us, giggle at the imprints that we make. No, it's not funny being Play-Doh. There's only so much we can take. Well, one day the Play-Doh had enough. They were sick of being abused. They wanted to teach the students the right way they should be used. They waited until the recess bell to holler to their buddies, the pencils. "Come swiftly," the Play-Doh told them. "We are going on strike because it's essential." The pencils called over the paper. With the dough's help, they began to write. They detailed all the naughtiness that made the Play-Doh feel they had to fight. It said, "We demand to be returned to our pots by the color of our lids. Don't act like you don't know what we are talking about, like you don't know what all you did. You will no longer stomp on us or stick us in tiny cracks. From now on, you will play with us and then immediately put us back. These are the terms we stand by. Consider them if you'd like. But until you agree to what we've asked, we, the Play-Doh, are going on strike." The students returned to their classroom, to what is normally Play-Doh time. But their favorite Play-Doh was missing. Were they stolen? Was this a crime? Then one student found the note and read it to the class. The students could tell the Play-Doh was angry and not just full of sass. Suddenly, sadness washed over the students. They wanted their Play-Doh to return. Even though it's a toy, building with Play-Doh helps them learn. So, they wrote back to the letter. They found heartfelt words to say, that they promised to be better if the Play-Doh returned the very next day. And they did. We are giving the students another chance to treat us with kindness and care. But if they treat us unfairly in any way, we will no longer be there. So, be careful with your Play-Doh. Don't just treat it however you'd like. Because if you're not kind and considerate, your Play-Doh may just go on strike.
Our new book is available on Amazon for you to enjoy. The link is in the description box below. See you next time. Welcome to Sprouting You. Let's read and sprout together. Yay! Our new book is available on Amazon for you to enjoy.
Today's book is Chairs on Strike by Jennifer Jones. Could you imagine for a minute what it's like to be a chair? How often people sit on you without a second care. You know, sitting's not the only thing that happens in our seats. Sometimes a kid sits pretzel style and we have to smell their feet. Sometimes the kids at school sit down hard without any care. And boy, oh boy, it hurts us. It simply is not fair. Other times, a kid is acting up, leaning back until we fall. No, it's not much fun being a chair. Not much fun at all. We get dragged across the room by our backs and left in places we don't like. Sometimes we get swung around and get ridden on like a bike. When we are used at lunchtime, food is smeared on us all around. Mustard, ketchup, and some things we don't like, but we never make a sound. None of us is as bad for a chair as the very worst, stinkiest part, when a child or adult sits on us and lets out a yucky fart. Oh no. One day we had enough of being treated in a way we don't like. So my chair buddies and I, we decided to go on strike. We gathered in the classroom late at night and wrote some letters to discuss our needs. We are going on strike starting now over some of your misdeeds. You sit on us like animals and rock us until our legs break. You treat us poorly every day. No more of this will we take. We can get back to work, but first, here is what we ask. A little respect and kindness so we can do our task. We left the letters on the teacher's desk and quickly wobbled out of there. The kids came in the next morning and asked, where are our chairs? For a full day during class, the kids were forced to stand. A couple of kids forgot and tried to sit down, but on their bottoms they did land. While it was for several hours, the kids started to get sick of the game. They were able to do all their schoolwork, but it just wasn't the same. So they took out their pencils and paper and they wrote us each a letter back. Once done, they left it at their desks and ran to the cafeteria for a snack. We snuck back in the classroom and read all the children's notes. Some of them were truly touching and had us choked up in our throats. We are sorry we treated you badly, one said. It's not on purpose, you see. We didn't realize we were disrespectful. Chair, you are so important to me. You're there for me to lean on, to sit down on when I need a rest. You make me comfortable and focused so that I can do my very best.
If you come back, I promise, I will not rock on you or fart. I'll simply sit on you while learning math, studying the planets and doing art. In the end, we agreed to come back. We missed our children dearly. When we returned, the children were kind and kept their promise cheerfully. Yay!
Our new book is available on Amazon for you to enjoy. The link is in the description box below. See you next time.
Book is Scissors on Strike by Jennifer Jones. Have you ever considered how scissors feel? When you put them all away, tuck them in your cubby to be used another day? No, the children often don't think about how it feels to be us, as we quietly go on cutting without ever making a fuss. First, they hold us wrong. They walk with our points facing out, which is the easiest way to get hurt. We know this without a doubt. They twirl us on their fingers, which gives us major headaches. They hardly take a moment to put us carefully away in our case. Sometimes they spill their juice and it gets all over us. The kids are not concerned that our metal parts could rust. Oh, the stickiness could ruin us. It could keep our blades closed stuck. The children wouldn't think it's their fault and we'd get tossed away knowing our luck. Oh no. But worse than how they handle us is what they use us for when they are not snipping with us or kicking us on the floor. They use us to cut their clothes and make little tiny tears. Or worse, they even use us to snip and cut their hair. Oh. They bend our blades completely until we can no longer cut. Our shiny metal legs are unable to properly shut. They leave us out all day without a second care. Then, when they look for us in the supply kit, we are never there. We are tossed around so carelessly as if the kids don't mind at all. Can you even imagine what it's like to feel so small? Well, we decided not to take it anymore. We'd finally had enough. We were no longer going to be there for the kids when they needed to cut their stuff. When the bell rang for lunchtime, we hurried without haste. We snuck into the supply closet and hid right next to the paste. The children would have to use their hands instead of cutting things as they would like because they would no longer have us to use. We, the scissors, were going on strike. Now, it just so happened on this day, the art teacher had plans. She asked the children to cut paper to get practice with scissors in their hands. So, you can imagine when they returned, the kids were shocked and surprised to find their trusty scissors had vanished right in front of their eyes. The children tried tearing their paper to make beautiful art, but it looked messy and awful without scissors. It was too hard. We heard a girl crying from the closet where we lurked. "Oh, scissors, I am sorry," she said. "Please help me do my work." The other students agreed. Then they all got together, pen and paper in hand, and proceeded to write us a letter.
Please forgive us, scissors. Please come back to us. We'll show you respect and care. We'll work to regain your trust.
We promise to wipe you off. If we get you dirty,
We'll treat you better. You don't have to worry.
we came out of our hiding spot and explained why we went away, how we wanted to be treated well each and every day. The children then handled us carefully. It was as if we got a new start and suddenly we were proud to be helpful with their art.
Yay! Our new book is available on Amazon for you to enjoy. The link is in the description box below. See you next time.
This book is Crayons on Strike by Jennifer Jones. Of all the writing tools that are in the classroom hutch, we are the most colorful, but we are not thought of very much. We are used a lot, but sometimes we are used in all the wrong ways. We are ground down to wax bits and mistreated on many days. Some children don't think twice. When they reach out for Red, they hold him with their fingers and snap him on his head. Or when they twirl Violet, ripping her paper off all around, Violet loses her protective flap when her label ends up on the ground. Uh-oh. But Blue may have the worst of it because often he's broken apart into tiny bits. He's sprinkled across the chair on which everyone sits. Can you imagine what it feels like to be sat on, crushed or smushed, to be treated in a way that is hurtful and unjust? The worst was when we were left out in the windows by the sun. We were forgotten about in the heat until the day was done. We melted into our colors ran and we began to drip, but then we were thrown out because we no longer had a tip. Oh no! That's right, the dullest of the crayons were tossed quickly in the trash. Unless, of course, the kids had other plans, like to break us into a mash. Magenta was always crumbled, his tiny pieces all over the desk. This was no way to use as crayons. It was simply just a mess. Well, one day, Yellow had enough and said, "We won't stand for this anymore. Come on, crayons, let's go on strike. let's go hide behind the closet door. The children were at lunch, so we had to swiftly act. They would return from the cafeteria and find us missing from the class. So we headed that way, leaving color streaks on the floor. The children could no longer abuse us. We would not stand for this anymore. Sure, they would see the colors, leading to our hiding spot. But we would not tolerate it any longer. No, we decided we would not. The kids returned from lunch and were assigned a coloring task. Which color will you use? The teacher asked the class. The students had to draw their families using as many colors as they could find. Each was given a blank sheet with nothing, not even dots or lines. They searched around their tables, but we were nowhere to be found. Then one student followed the colored lines that left a trail on the ground.
Crayons, come out. We need you.
The boy declared to Brown.
We are on strike.
Brown told him. Until we get respect, coloring is closed down. The boy called a class meeting.
Let's tell them what we'll do to show them respect and take care of them too. Please come back, crayons. Please come back to stay. We have learned our lesson. Let's start a new day. We'll make our classroom a total respectful zone. We'll treat our tools with care so you will feel right at home. In our supply boxes, we'll tuck you neatly away so that you will always be there and we'll have you each day. Then we can complete our work and it won't be a chore. We'll respect our tools. We have learned our lesson and more. We were so delighted about the respect and communication we were treated from that day on with much love and affection. We helped the children with their projects just like we always do. In the end, they marveled at all the colors and we were proud of their artwork too. Yay!
Book is available on Amazon for you to enjoy. The link is in the description box below. See you next time.
Book is Markers on Strike by Jennifer Jones. When most people think of markers, they think of color, brightness, and joy. They are tools for creativity, maybe your favorite pastime toy. But we can be much more than that, helping students express their feelings. We help students complete work, homework, art, and even greetings. We color up students' pages with rainbows big and bright. Without us, students would stare upon blank pages filled only with white. So you'd think that students would treat us right with caution and with care, but they don't. They make us wish that we weren't even there. They beat us and they break us and they throw us on the ground. Even though we serve a purpose, they seem to not want us around. Well, we were tired of being treated poorly. We were especially fed up one night. So we grabbed a piece of paper and the markers began to write.
Dear students, we are tired of being treated poorly. It's not something we like. We have decided we have had enough and we are going to strike. You chisel our tips and grind us down until our fronts are no more than stumps. As you smoosh us across the paper, we are forced to leave behind yucky clumps. You chew our caps with your mouth, covering us in your drool. Is this how you treat other supplies you're required to use at school? You bend us and you snap us so we can no longer be used. Do you have any idea what it feels like to be so often abused? You mix us together in bins. Instead of putting us back in our box, you use us on things that aren't paper, like the top of your desks or playground rocks. The worst is when you leave our tops off so that we just dry out and die. Would you treat others like this? It makes us want to cry. We see you laugh and giggle as you carelessly put on the wrong tops. It makes us sad and angry. We probably should call the cops. So the next time that you need us, we won't be there to assist. We are going on strike. We don't even know if we'll be missed.
The students walked into their classroom the next day. Something was missing, but what? One noticed the letter sticking out of the marker box, stopping it from closing shut. The student read the letter aloud. As frowns filled the students' faces, they began to look around the classroom for us in all the usual places. But when they couldn't find us, they grabbed some paper to write us back, but they couldn't even write in color. No, they had to use a boring shade of black. We are sorry we have been mistreating you. We never thought much about it. We now know not to use you to color the area around where we sit. We promise not to chew your ends or snap you, as you said. We'll use you for art and schoolwork creatively and carefully instead. We decided to trust the students and give them one more chance, but if they mistreat us again, we will have to take a stance. We hope the students have learned exactly what we dislike, and hopefully they will not act up and we won't have to go on strike.
Our new book is available on Amazon for you to enjoy. The link is in the description box below. See you next time.